Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I hope everybody's been having a great week or is going to be starting their week. It is Sunday for me. It's about 4 o'clock in the morning, nearly about 4:15. But I had just posted and am still working on uploading the previous video. And this previous video should be scheduled for noon today. And we're going to have a little more discussion about the NBA, and we're going to be talking about the Indiana Pacers. These are taking a good minute. I do not know why. But we're going to go and talk about... I don't know why they're taking so long. But we're going to be talking about in my Indiana Pacers, and that it is a rough time for the Indiana Pacers. We have been on a very injury-plagued season, but that's not just the Pacers. This is the whole NBA as a whole. We've been just not healthy throughout the whole NBA has just been up and down so frequently. I mean, LeBron James, one of the people that barely takes off any days, let alone weeks or months. He's been severely injured this year too. It's been up and down, and the Indiana Pacers is just one of those teams that is along with it, where every team has at least one player that has been just severely injured. I mean, our TJ Warren got injured 4 games into the season, and that's the reason why you don't see, you still see it in blue instead of a purple, is that I didn't click on him because statistically he didn't play he only played 4 games. He didn't have even close to a full season compared to these other players. But I thought I would take a look, see at these players, see where they stand, if we need to go and possibly consider trading any of them. But again, with us having so many players injured here recently, it's a rough road right now with the Indiana Pacers. You have talks of Nate Bjorkgren, our head coach, constantly playing on the laptop, playing on his tablet. He's constantly looking at footages. He's showing off the footages, or he's showing off plays as has went down on a tablet instead of being there physically. He wants to do everything technologically. He's not wanting to show players in the old ways. He wants to try to switch things up to be on the tablet. And then we had Greg Foster getting into with Goga Batadze. We've been injured, and so it's a weird thing going on right now. We have Kevin Pritchard, who has had some decent moments. Him getting TJ Warren for salary. The Phoenix Suns traded TJ Warren for literally cash exception. They got, I think, $2 million. We got TJ Warren and a second round pick. So that was one of the good, or not just good, but that was an excellent move by Kevin Pritchard. But nothing has he's done what has needed to be done with us being in Indiana, based off of an Indiana team. We have cornfields. We have cornfields that sometimes every other year are going to be beans. You have Plainfield, you have Greenwood, you have Bloomington as your focal points, also along with Carmel and Fishers as the big towns of Indiana. You can combine all those towns I just mentioned, and they're not even close to being as extravagant as a Los Angeles or New York or Miami or Orlando. And so we're not an established state. We don't have a whole lot going on in Indiana. And our owner, Herb Simons, who does a phenomenal job, he does as best as he can. He owns, and he's the CEO of malls. He owns the Greenwood Park Mall here in Indiana. He owns vast majority of malls in the U.S. as far as I know. I don't know the full synopsis of what makes him the billionaire that he is, but I know that that's his key thing of how he makes money is malls. And malls are a dying thing. Back in the 90s and the 2000s, malls were in anything before the 90s, the 80s, 70s. The malls were the place to go to as teenagers, as family gatherings. That was like the place to go was the malls. And it's just a dying thing now. And for Herb Simon to have that be his way of making money, we as a team, the Pacers, they have to go and ask the NBA for revenue to be able to help pay these players all this money. He can't even afford to pay the players. And so it's that weird circumstance, and it's unfortunate that we can't go out and we can't be like Golden State, where they can go over the salary cap by like $2 million. They don't even bat an eye at it. If we go over the salary cap, Herb Simons is going to go bankrupt. Like, he can't afford that kind of thing. So it's unfortunate, and I love that Herb Simons is still the owner because he does do a great job at what he is given for money circumstance. And that come December, he does the Toys for Children event, and Adam Silver comes in and talks about it. It's where the Pacers organization, they gather up tens of thousands of toys for kids every single Christmas, and it's just a special event. It's going to be rough, and if we don't get a new owner, it's only going to be like this right here, where again Malcolm Brogdon is making $20 million, and then everybody else is making less than that. You have LeBron James, you have Anthony Davis making, God, they're like, LeBron James is making what Miles Turner and Malcolm Brogdon are making combined, along with like a TJ McConnell. Like, he's making 40 plus million. You have a lot of players that are making 40 plus million, and it's just rough because the Indiana Pacers we're on the brink of the salary cap. And so, unless if we got a new owner, we can only spend so much every single year. So we'd have to look at the players as themselves if they were worth every single penny. And looking at the salary caps, for this year, you had Malcolm Brogdon at $20 million, 18, 17, 16, 11, 10. You guys can see the numbers. And so after this year, Doug McDermott, TJ McConnell, Jakar Sampson are all going to be free agents. By golly, TJ McConnell and Doug McDermott, I feel like we're going to try to re-sign them, but they're, based off of how Doug McDermott has been doing this year, I want to say he has been shooting better at the three-point line than the previous years, possibly. He's been around for a good minute, too. He is 29 years old. Come on, computer. If my computer will work with me. Let's see if it will. Come on. Why are we freezing for? There we go. Okay. Come on. Oh, actually. Come on. I believe in you. There we go. 3-point percentage is actually down from last year. 43.5 versus 38.5. That's a 5% decrease. He has attempted 278 and has only made 107. Really, Chrome? Anyways, yeah, that's rough. Like, that's not a good percentage. Come on, computer. That's not a good percentage. It is just not like me right now. But yeah, that's rough percentage is 38.5. So I wouldn't be surprised if we were to let him go because we just resigned Justin Holiday. TJ McConnell is actually playing exceptional basketball for only averaging last year he averaged 18 minutes a game, nearly 19. He's up to 25.8 minutes a game, 8.6 minutes per game, 1.9 steals a game, 6.5 assists a game, 68% from the 3-point free throw line. That's rough. 3-pointers he doesn't. Again, he only averages 0.7. Not like he doesn't average even a 3-pointer a game. 55.8% field goal percentage. So his numbers shows that he, out of the 3 that are free agent this year, we probably would want to resign TJ McConnell because he is just that good. We have the team option of Edmund Sumner this year, which we'll probably easily pick that up because he has played really good basketball this year. TJ Warren, Jeremy Lamb, after next year are going to be free agents. And then we got Justin Holiday locked up for next year and the year after that. Osha Bersette has been playing great basketball for us, and we got him locked up for 2 years and only making $1.7 and $1.8 million. He'll probably make more than that after the following year in 2023-2024 season. So let's go ahead and get into the Indiana Pacers and each individual players as how they're doing statistically. This is his 5th year, Mr. Malcolm Brogdon. His points are up. Let's go ahead and look at started 56 and his games available to play 56. He's started all of them. 34.5 minutes a game, so his minutes are up. Field goal percentage is up by 2%, but it's not the Milwaukee year where he went 50, 40, and 90 club. 38.8. His 3-point percentage are up. He went average 6.7 3-pointers a game. That's pretty good. At 2.6 of them made. That's pretty decent. And then 3 free throws, 86.4. So that's down. That's rough. For us, like after his Milwaukee year, he has kind of, I won't say tapered off, but he's not playing as good of a basketball since then. Because, which we can actually look at per 36. Yeah, this year, or the year that he went and played for Milwaukee, he only averaged, if he were to play per 36 minutes, he would have had 19.7 points per game, 4.0 assists a game, 1.8 steals per game, 92.8 free throw percentage, 42.6 3-point percentage, and 50.5% from the field goal. So again, it's that toss-up where he is a great point guard. He's 28 years old. Are we going to go out and get a young point guard for the future? Are we willing to trade him away to get go out and get a young point guard that isn't a solidified point guard in like Malcolm Brogdon? Because when it comes to the point guards that mock draft, there it was. Where did the mock draft go? There it is. The mock draft When it comes to point guards, Cade Cunningham, which we would have to trade. Probably Malcolm Brogdon. Probably 2 to 3 first round picks. We probably even have to get Eric Gordon or one of the bad contracts to be able to get Cade Cunningham, which I don't think is worth it. Jalen Suggs with a 4th pick. So we'd probably trade away that 12th pick for this year. And they would be able to get Kai Jones, or they can get any player after that we talked about in the previous video. We'd be able to get Jalen Suggs, which is a pretty good young kid from Gonzaga that played phenomenal basketball. Davion Mitchell wouldn't be a bad option, and we wouldn't have to go that far into, like, we're the 12th pick, that's a 10th pick at Davion Mitchell, the 10th pick with the New Orleans would not be a bad move. That's if we were to want to trade to get trade away Malcolm Brogdon to go out and get a younger player. But he's an established point guard that isn't the fastest, but he plays good, if not great, basketball for a point guard. Got Miles Turner, and again, all Indiana knows it, that he should be in. I would love to see him be in at least contention, at least in the top 3 for Defensive Player of the Year. 3.4 blocks a game. 3.4 blocks a game this year. By golly, rebounding is not the best. 6.5. 20.6. Free throw percentage is actually up by 3% at 78.2. 33.5 is kind of down. 47.7 is up. But none of those statistics matter. The only thing that is going to stop Miles Turner from getting Defensive Player of the Year is the rebounding. He's only averaging 6.5 versus Rudy Gobert's. Rudy Gobert. Gobert. Rebounding for this year, 13.5 rebounds per game. He's averaging 3.4. He's averaging 2.7. But again, 13.5 rebounds, 10 of them an average a game of defensive, and Turner doesn't do that. And so he's not going to get Defensive Player of the Year because of that. He probably even get in the top 3 because, again, he's only averaging 6.5 rebounds, which is kind of ridiculous, but that's just how statistics work, and he's only averaging 6.5, so he's not going to even get in the discussion. He probably won't even get one first place ballot pick. But when it comes to Miles Turner, today's league, we have great defenders like Rudy Gobert, like Miles Turner, but defense is not the key thing anymore. And by golly, we've been very injured this year. And so for me to even have any of these players up here statistically and show off the stats, it'd be nice for us to have a year of a full season health-wise with no injuries, start off with a clean slate so that way we can see how they all work together, because we haven't had a full season with everybody like for the past 4 years now. We've had Victor Oladipo go out when we had Bojan Bogdanovic and against the Cleveland Cavaliers against LeBron James. And ever since then, we haven't had a full season with healthy players, and it'd be nice to see all these players be able to play together, and see what they can do together. Because, again, we didn't have TJ Warren the whole year. But Miles Turner had a great year this year. Down in rebounds a little bit by 0.5, 11.9 rebounds, 20 points a game, 1.2 steals a game. That's pretty exceptional. up by 0.4 on the steals. Free throw percentage needs to go up. That's not a good percentage for a power forward center. It's not bad, but he's a lefty, so he should have more of a better chance of making the shot because it's just it tends to be like a statistical factor that lefties have a better shot release when it comes to shooting. But 73.2% is not bad, I guess, for as big of a guy he is. 3-pointing percentage, again, he doesn't really he's not been known to shoot 3-pointers, but 31.9% is not bad. He's averaging 2.6 3-pointers a game, and he's making nearly one a game, which is not bad. Because then you look at these other ones previously. Like he didn't act like in Oklahoma City they forced him to shoot 3-pointers, and that's just not his game. And then he came to Indiana and didn't have to shoot 3-pointers, so he that's just not his game. That's his dad is Arvydas Sabonis, and his dad never shot 3-pointers. And so for OKC to have him shoot 3-pointers, he averaged nearly 2 a game. This is not his style. Now we look at this 53.3 field goals a game is pretty damn good. That's a good percentage. By God, I'd rather it be a lot more so because that 7.7 to 14.5 is really actually not that good now I'm thinking about it. Because you have like DeAndre Jordan, who shot like 60%, I think 65% on field goals, but Jordan's style was he just dunked the ball versus DeMonis, where he actually puts it on the floor and tries to get into the opponent, then shoot it. So it's a little bit, or not a little bit, it's a different style. So very good productive season for DeMonis Sabonis this year. Caris LeVert with his I'll be right back. When it comes to Caris LeVert, we traded away Victor Oladipo for Caris LeVert, and during that trade, you have to have a physical to find out if you're able to perform well enough as a player. Every single player has to do that. LeVert, we found out, had a small mass on his kidney, and it being cancer, so he was out for goodness gracious month and a half, and he came back. He's a lot more healthy. His minutes are up there, and he's having a great season for us. I'm very happy for him. Here's the seasons. He was in Brooklyn, then he came to Indiana. His points are up from this year when he was in Brooklyn at an extra 3 points nearly a game, 21 points a game. Same amount of turnovers a game, 2.2. That's kind of rough. But 1.5 steals a game, that helps out a lot. 4.9 assists a game, that's pretty nice. 4.7 total rebounds per game. 3 free throw percentage is up since he's left Brooklyn. It's 81.7 versus 76.5. That's excellent. 3-point percentage, it's a little bit rough. That's a tad bit rough. 31.6 versus 34.9, nearly 35% from the 3-point line when he was in Brooklyn. But again, he's coming back, getting a little bit healthier. I think after this year, he'll be he'll come back stronger, healthier, average a lot of minutes a game. He's actually averaging 33.2. I think he'll get up into the 35 or so minutes come next year. He's a great shooting guard. I loved him, and I still love him to death. He's a great player. But yeah, he's gonna be a key player for us when he does come back. Jeremy Lamb, from the minute he came into the league, he was a part of the James Harden to the Houston Rockets trade. And he was in Oklahoma City with Kevin Durant and Westbrook. And then he went to Charlotte. And then he came to Indiana. He's only averaging 21.3 minutes a game versus 28 last year. But he has only played 36 minutes because he did tear his ACL last year, so he didn't get a chance to play a whole lot of games this year. So down to 10 points per game, 0.9 steals a game, 1.5 assists, free throw percentage, 94.7. I did not realize that. That's actually pretty decent. 40.6. That's actually pretty excellent for a guy that only played 36 games. That's pretty good. Up by a point. Up nearly 7%. Actually 7% more than last year. That's actually pretty good. And then up or down in field goal percentage, but again, he doesn't really go out and try to shoot other than 3-pointers. But with our contract situation and how very little cap space that we have, and we're kind of strict on our money, we'll probably keep him next year just because he's only making $10 million. And so I wouldn't be surprised if we kept him. That's a good percent. I love that 3-point percentage. That's excellent. But I wouldn't be surprised after next year that we would let him walk because he plays slower tempo than what like TJ McConnell does. Aaron Holiday, we need a little bit faster tempo, and he plays a little bit slower. His defense, since coming into the league, has not improved, and it's rough to watch him. He tends to, I don't know, he tends to just watch other players and doesn't watch his own player. It's kind of rough watching him try to play defense. Doesn't really like. It's just rough. And then of course Justin Holiday's been around. Goodness gracious, he's 32 years old. He's been around for a minute. 2013 season with Philadelphia, and he's been on a lot of teams since. Philadelphia, Golden State. He was on several other teams. TOT, I can't remember what TOT is. Atlanta, Chicago, New York, Chicago, TOT. I want to say that's Toronto. Might not be, though. No, I don't think he's ever been in Toronto. Yeah, it shows right here, actually, TOT traded? I can't remember what TOT stands for. But Chicago, Memphis, and then came to Indiana. And he has... Hold on a second. I'll be right back. Got a cat. Anyways, for Justin Holiday only making $6 million next year in the following year too. He plays really good basketball for only making that much money. Up in actually, this is like one of his better years in points wise. You have 3 years right there, and then here recently, this is like one of his better seasons at 10.5. 1.1 steals a game, 1.7 assists per game. Free throw percentage is 79.3, which is pretty decent. 38.6 3-point percentage is not the best. By golly, it's actually one of his better seasons on 3-pointers than last year. Last year he had 40.5, but 40.5 and 40.5, but this year 38.6. But then you look at the previous years, he didn't shoot the 3-pointer that well until Chicago, goodness gracious, back in 2015, 2016 season. So I can work with that. 6.3 is 3-pointers a game and making 2.4. That's not bad. Started 50 games and has out of 70 games available. That's not bad. Again, for $6 million, I'll take that all day. And of course, we got Edmund Sumner, who we're going to pick up that team option. For us to be able to pay him only $2.4 million, I'll take that all day. 6'4". I thought he was 6'6", but he has a really long wingspan, like really, really long. His game started 24 of 53 available. 7.5 points per game. 0.6 steals per game, which is not terrible. 81.9% from the free throw line. That's not bad. 39.8 on 3-pointers. 1.7 3-pointers per game average attempted, making 0.7. That's not bad. 16 minutes a game. Yeah, I love this kid. He's good. Really, really, really good. I love Edmund Sumner. And again, it's that fine line. We're going to let probably Jeremy Lamb go after next year. And we got Edmund Sumner that we're going to have to pay eventually. We got Goga on $3 million this upcoming year, or the next year, and the following year $4.7 million. So that's gonna be a rough one on that player option. Also, we see his statistics go up. I would not be surprised if we were to decline his player option. He's kind of like an in-between of Miles Turner and Domantas Sabonis, where he is a great rebounder, good scorer too, or not just good, but a really good scorer. Really good scorer, and then he can block shots. Like, I like him a lot, but to pay him $4.7 million, I think is kind of rough. Up in points, again, you look at the games, 44. He did play 44 games and started 3 of them. His minutes are up by 4 minutes a game. He's averaging only 5.2 points per game. But if you look at the field goals, 4.3 only a game, and getting 5.2 points per game. He's shooting 42% from the field, 26% from the 3-point line, 54% from just a field goal percentage in general. 73.8 free throw percentage. 1.4 blocks. And 3.3 rebounds. So again, the statistics are there that if he were to be playing more minutes, he would probably be playing really good basketball. But again, the minutes aren't there for him. Per 36 probably would be even better if we were to look at that. Per 36, he would be averaging 14.9, 3.98, 2.4, 9.6, 73.8. Yeah, that's a lot better. But again, that's per 36, and you're not guaranteed to get those kind of statistics if you were to play 36 minutes per game. But that's a hypothetical situation if you were to be playing and have those kind of minutes that he might be able to put out those kind of numbers. But we already got Turner and Sabonis. If we were to trade away one or if both, it'd be one thing, but we probably will be keeping both of them. So to again, around that time, we still have Sabonis and Turner on salary, so that's gonna be a rough one on that. 4.7 million. Aaron Holiday, again, good kid, not just a good kid, but a great kid. And again, his numbers actually have went up since last year, if I remember correctly, which I'll look at here in a minute. But his brother Justin has been around. What was it? This is what it shows his age, but I can't remember how long he's been around for. Again, it doesn't say. Doesn't say. Oh, actually does. No. 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 seasons. This is gonna be his 11th season. No, 10 seasons. And so you gotta give him more time. I think he would flourish if he were not to be on the Pacers, because where you got a lot of guards right now. By golly, if we let Jeremy Lamb walk, if we let McDermott walk, that'd be one thing. But we just got a lot of players that are guards, so 7.2 points per game only. 17.8 minutes per game only, though. He's started 8, played 66 games total. 39.0% field goal percentage. 36.8 3-point percentage. Nearly 3% down in free throw 3-point percentage. Free throws 81.9. Again, can't go wrong with free throw percentage being up in the 80s, but it sucks that he went down 3.2%, but it's still not bad. 1.9 assists, but again, that's a pretty big jump down in minutes, so I can't really be upset with his assist. And you want to look at assist to turnover ratio, and is only 0.5 more an assist to turnover. No, never mind. 0.9. I was looking at the fouls per game. 1 to 1.9 and 1.3 to 3.4. So that's a pretty good assist to turnover ratio. That's excellent. Not this year, but last year. And so again, I hope nothing but the best for Aaron Holiday, because I want to see him flourish, in which we still have another full year with him still, and so we'll continue to work with him, and he'll have the chance to play some more minutes, because that's one thing I like about Nate, is that any of these players on any given night could go up in minutes. It just depends on how they're performing. And then we got Mr. Osha Bersette, who has played excellent basketball. Former Toronto player that I know a lot of Toronto fans love this kid. He came from Nick Nurse, and Nate Bjorkgren came from that Nick Nurse coaching staff. They love this kid to death. He started 15 games of the 20 available that he came to the Indiana Pacers with. 9.9 points per game. 1 block, 1 steal. 5.3 rebounds a game. 78% from the free throw line. It's kind of rough, but it's not bad. 40% from the 3-point line. 1.4 3-pointers made per game to 3.5. I didn't realize that he was that good statistically. 6'7". Only 22 years old. He's only getting paid $1.7 and $1.8 million. He only got $257,000 this year. Wow. That's a hell of a contract that we got for him. Mid-level exception. Now we signed him to a 3-year deal, and that was including this year, next year, and the year after that. But that's a hell of a contract. Oh my god. I looked at it initially, but it's sinking in still. I remember when this contract happened, I was hanging out with Zach from ZKM Sports Talk. We went to a burger joint. It was all the way up in goodness gracious. This is like Plainfield, Indianapolis area. I remember the exact location, and we went, and they were known for making some excellent burgers, and they had really good root beer floats. And Zach sat across from me, and right above me was a TV. And they had a ESPN on at the time, and a guy down here by the name of Monte Ellis was a free agent. Had a hell of a season with the Dallas Mavericks. Just phenomenal season. He torched. Actually, even look at the statistics. He torched us when he was on the Dallas Mavericks. He torched us every time we went against him. And he was a free agent. And I was like, I wonder where he's going to go to. And Zach and I were sitting and about to get some food. And I looked up at the TV. And I saw Monte Ellis signs with the Indiana Pacers for 4-year, $44 million. Which $11 million a year is not bad. Back then it was kind of steep when he signed the contract. But I was like, all right, this is excellent. And then he came to the Indiana Pacers, and his body just gave out. He played sloppy, and he just statistically declined right when he signed with the Indiana Pacers. Again, when he was on Milwaukee, he absolutely torched us. Him and Brandon Jennings were amazing together. Then he went to Dallas. He went to all these other teams and just torched us. But then when he comes to the Indiana Pacers, his body fell apart. He just started playing statistically terrible. Just played sloppy. He didn't play defense. And we're still paying the dude. We're still paying Monte Ellis $2.2 million this year and next year. $2.2 million next year. $120 million. We'd be $118 million if we didn't have Monte's contract still. So we eventually, after the last season that he played for the Indiana Pacers, we went ahead and did a negotiation contract where we would stretch out his last year of his contract to make it where we'd have to pay him so much amount of money every year. And as you can tell, we're paying him $2.2 million to not play basketball. Has not played basketball since he came to the Indiana Pacers. And he's still getting paid $2 million not to even touch a basketball. He's at home, relaxing, hanging out with family members, spend time with friends, doing whatever he's doing. And he's getting paid $2 million from the Indiana Pacers. $2 million. $2 million. You know what we could have done with that $2 million? For the past however many years? We could have gave it to Doug McDermott, and he wouldn't have been a free agent this upcoming year. We wouldn't have to worry about teaching Mcconnell. We could have gave them each $1 million. But instead, we're still stretching out Monte Ellis' contract where we had to pay him $2 million. So let's look at his contract. Let's look at his statistics. From the age 20 to 31. And then here's the last 2 years of the Indiana Pacers. Statistically, look at this right here. 13.8 and 8.5. He played and started for 30. He started 33 games and played for 74 of them. 81 games started, and then out of 81 games available. 33 minutes, 27 minutes. 12.6 field goal percentage, or field goals attempted, and 7.5. And shot 42% and 44%. 30% and 31%, nearly 32%. Free throw percentage 78 and 72%. 3.3, 2.8, 4.7. That's not bad. 3.2. 1.1 steals per game. 1.8 turnovers a game. And again, if you look at the statistics, here we go. Right here. 18.9. He averaged 16.9 field goal percentages. Made 7.5 of them when he was on Dallas. 7.5 and 16.9, which was a 44.5% field goal percentage. On the free throws that year, 3.6 and 1 at a 28.5%. 4.1 assists, 1.9 steals, and 2.5 turnovers per game. Yeah. Yeah. It was rough. He again, statistically, it looks like, if you look at the statistics, the last 2 years of the Indiana Pacers, that again, he actually, his field goals a game only averaging 12.6 and 7.5. He possibly could have had a better chance, especially that year. But he looked rather old whenever he played that last year. It was rough watching him. Because again, I loved Monte Ellis. But you could see that his body was starting to creak and crack. But that Dallas year, he just went off. And he was just, every time he's going for a layup, and he was just playing phenomenal basketball. But we're still paying him $2.2 million, which is, again, rough. But we're going to have to re-sign this kid. If he keeps up this right here, these statistics, and keeps getting minutes, if he can get like to 30 minutes per game, his stats are only going to get better. I like this kid. I didn't realize he was playing this phenomenal for only 22 years old at 6'7". We're going to have to sign him to a good contract that will be a steal. I would love that. Get him for like $8 million a year for the next like 4 years, doing, what was that, $32 million a year, or $32 million for 4 years. I would love that if we could get that kind of contract. But again, we'll see how things pan out for the Indiana Pacers. It's going to be rough. But I look forward to seeing how this Indiana team turns out. I love my Indiana Pacers. I've been watching them since I was 6 years old, Reggie Miller growing up. And then all up to now, I've been just a diehard. Actually, leading up to 2003, 2004, when Reggie Miller retired, I was watching basketball quite frequently. And once Reggie Miller retired, I kind of went off and played video games more frequently and started developing the thing called crushes on girls and being a human being and stuff. And then uh, right whenever Dan Granger was coming towards like prime Danny Granger pretty much prime Danny Granger is whenever I started liking the Pacers again. Back when LeBron just joined the Miami Heat, is whenever I started watching the Indiana Pacers again. That's when we got Paul George, which we're not going to talk about, but I'm curious to see how things pan out with the Indiana Pacers. This is going to be a fun time. As you guys can tell, this is my nice little background over here. I got all sorts of shortcuts over here on the left side, but I'm curious to see how this Indiana Pacers team turns out. Again, just one full year, fresh start, everybody healthy, and see how things turn out with the team. No reason to let Nate Bjorkgren go. Let him play for the full year with the full healthy roster and see how things turn out. With all that being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and